Joining us live on the program is Sunil Gavaskar, who's lucky enough to be in that beautiful location called Dharamshala. He will be doing commentary in this particular game. Sunil, first up, there is a bit of a debate happening everywhere in the cricket world as to who is the favorite to win the tournament, and there are only two contenders as of now. A lot of them are picking India, the rest of them are picking New Zealand. Do you think the result of this game is going to tell all of us which is that number one contender or the favorites to win this tournament?
I don't think so, because this is just a group game. When you come to the knockout stages, it's a completely different temperament that is required, because in a group stage, you're pretty aware that there is another match to come, so maybe, the intensity might not be the same, but or the pressures, the intensity will be the same, I beg your pardon, but the pressure is not the same. But when it's a knockout, when you cannot afford a mistake, that is when your real temperament is seen. So while this match will be just an indicator for sure, which is the team which is shaping up really well, then I think the knockout stages is where the men will be separated from the boys.
Okay, Saibhai, we were just showing our viewers a record in the package that we played a short while ago, where since 2003 till now, India have been unable to beat New Zealand in any ICC tournament. That's a record that the Indian team is also aware of. What is it that makes this New Zealand game a banana peel game for the Indians?
It is not a banana peel game. A banana peel game is when you're playing a side you're expected to beat, and then they suddenly placed out of their skins, and their skin then becomes a banana peel on which your team slips. So New Zealand is not that. New Zealand is a formidable one-day team. New Zealand have been in the finals of the last two World Cups, 2015, 2019. So and they have been in the semi-finals. Out of the 12 editions so far, they have been in the semi-finals 8 times. So New Zealand is not a banana peel team. New Zealand is a proper formidable team. And, you can't call them a banana peel team at all, not at all.
Okay, Simon, let me rephrase that. Why is it that India find it tough to beat New Zealand in an ICC tournament?
I think it is because New Zealand always raise the level of their game, while India sometimes, doesn't have the run of the luck. Take the 2019 semi-finals. India batted on the second day when it was overcast. And so the ball was swinging a lot more for the New Zealand bowlers than it did for the Indian bowlers the previous day. If you remember, the match went on to the second day because of bad weather, having stopped play earlier on day one. So that is a bit of luck as well. If the conditions that were there on day one had been there, India could have well got the runs without too many problems. But these are the ifs and buts of cricket that we talk about. Clearly, I think New Zealand have a sense of belief that they can, with their new ball attack, get the early batters out, and that is where India seems to falter. India seems to lose their wickets against the New Zealand swing and seam bowlers early, and that is what puts pressure on number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to try and stem the tide.
Now, of course, the big talking point right now is Hardik Pandya hasn't travelled to Dharamshala, so clearly not playing this game. How much of a blow is this for the Indian camp?
Well, it's a big blow because it upsets the balance of the team. What Hardik Pandya was bringing to the team was his batting ability at number 6 as a finisher. Because the way the Indian top 4, 5 are batting, he was only going to get about maybe 8, 10 overs or 12 overs at best. But he was doing so well in those 10, 12 overs, and not in this tournament, but in earlier tournaments. This tournament, again, he hasn't had much of an opportunity. So that batting aspect will be missed, but also the bowling aspect, not to forget the fact that he's an outstanding fielder. So all round, he will be missed. He also brings a certain energy on the field, which you can see the way he runs to the bowler, the way he runs to the captain, Rohit Sharma, to try and maybe, give his input on what the situation is and how maybe that situation can be addressed. So all these factors will be definitely something that the Indian team will miss with his absence in Dharamshala.
Now, the Indian coach Rahul Dravid just a short while ago was asked as to who is it that's going to come in for Hardik Pandya into the 11. He kept the cards very close to his chest. But Jaiva, I'm going to ask you, who do you think is the replacement or the ideal replacement? Now, I know, as you said, and this is something that has been established throughout this tournament, that there is no like-for-like replacement for Hardik Pandya. But what does the Indian team do right now in this situation?
Well, if I was part of the Indian team, I would look to pick Surya Kumar Yadav or Ishan Kishan in the team, strengthen the batting because at the moment, with what has been India's problem against New Zealand, they're top class new ball bowling, which gets the top three batters out. So you really need a little depth in your batting. If you have a Jadeja coming in or an Ashwin coming in place of, Ashwin coming in place of Hardik Pandya, then it sort of weakens your batting just a little bit. So either have the left-handed Ishan Kishan at number 6, or have Surya Kumar Yadav at number 6. So that's the change that I would do. And maybe depending on the conditions, depending on the pitch, maybe because New Zealand also has got loads of left-handers. Not that is the only criteria. Bring in Ashwin because he loves these kind of challenges. He'll love to bowl on a pitch where people are expected to bowl seam and swing and not spin. And he can also be a handy bat down the order. So these are the two changes I would consider. But right now, from here, difficult to say. You've got to go to the ground, see the overcast conditions, see the pitch, and then take a final call.
Just a bit more on that, Saibhai. As you say that, okay, you will need to bring in a batter, and I think that the Indian team will have to look at, because Hardik Pandya at 6, on occasions where you need him to finish a game, he comes good at that particular spot. So you bring in a batter, whether it's Ishan or Surya Kumar Yadav, as you said, they could go with either one. But what happens to the bowling? Assuming, let's say, Shardul Thakur plays, assuming that it's a track that is going to help fast bowlers, as we've seen in Dharamshala in the past. The only issue is when Shardul was playing, he could be accommodated into the team because Hardik would then bowl the remaining 5-6 overs. So it will be split between Shardul and Hardik. In case it's a track to help fast bowlers and you need to play 3 fast bowlers, do you then also toy with the idea that bring in a Shami instead of a Shardul? That means no batter at 8, but at least then you get a full quota of 10 overs. What does the Indian team do in case it's a track helping the fast bowlers?
That's a very, very good idea. And I think maybe that might be what the Indian team's think tank would look to do. Bring in Shami so you have a proper 5-bowler quota, and then include a batter as well. So make 2 changes basically. Bring in because with Ishan Kishan or Surya Kumar Yadav coming in, your batting gets strengthened anyway. But Shami coming in will strengthen your bowling as well. That little aspect of the bowling which was with Pandya's absence was just getting a little bit weakened. That will be enormously strengthened. So I think that would be the way to go as well.
Saibhai, we've listed those 5 threats. One of them we all know is Trent Boult. He's in the past put Indian top order under pressure. Right now, the Indian top order has been firing on all cylinders throughout the tournament. But that Trent Boult threat, especially in Dharamshala, where sometime if you're bowling under the lights, it tends to help the fast bowlers. How do you negate this Trent Boult threat as far as the Indian top order is concerned?
Well, depends on the score you're chasing. If you're batting second, if you're chasing a big score, then obviously you can't really have too much time to settle in. But if you're not chasing a big score, say about 240, 250, which is less than 5 runs and over, maybe a look at negotiating him, getting through his first 2-3 overs, and then attacking at the other end. So that might be the way to go. Because that way what you do is you don't lose. What the problem has been that you lose early wickets. The moment you lose an early wicket, New Zealand also is on top. So clearly I think the thing to do would be to try and avoid losing the early wicket. But that said, let's have a look at how Rohit Sharma dealt with another left-handed threat, Shaheen Shah Afridi. Went after him straight away. Shubman Gill also joined the party. So suddenly the pressure was put back on the Pakistani bowlers. That is the tactic that India could well employ against Trent Boult, Matt Henry and Lockie Ferguson.
Oh, that is going to be very interesting. As Saibhai points out, the only advantage that New Zealand have at the moment in Pakistan's case, as soon as they attacked someone like a Shaheen Shah Afridi, all hell broke loose. In New Zealand case, as Saibhai points out, there's a Lockie Ferguson, there's a Matt Henry, and Matt Henry in particular has been having an outstanding World Cup. So it's going to be a 3-pronged pace attack from New Zealand that will definitely put the Indian batters under pressure. But on the other side, if you look at it, the Indian batters have been in outstanding form. So that is why what we're saying here on our program, this is going to be an exciting contest to watch out for. One thing, Saibhai, that we haven't seen in this World Cup, because there was a lot of talk before this World Cup started leading up to this tournament, was that there will be a lot of dew this time of the year when you play on Indian grounds. We haven't seen a lot of it till now. When we see it, it comes at the fag end of a game, by which time almost 3/4 of the game is done. Dharamshala, though, could be a different case. We've seen it in the past. Dew sets in a bit early there, a high altitude area. In that case here, toss becomes slightly more important than other places, and chasing would be the way to go.
Yes, because also what happens is that, under the lights in the thin mountain air, the ball is likely to swing a little bit more. The white ball doesn't really swing as much in the air. It might seem after pitching, doesn't swing as much in the air. But that could be a little different here in Dharamshala. So that has to be a factor in considering whether you want to bat first or whether you want to chase.
Okay, Sunil, thank you so much for taking time out and speaking to India today. You have a good game tomorrow at the stadium. Of course, we'll have Sunil Gavaskar join us the day after the game and probably help us analyze as to how the game really pans out. But it's a humdinger of a contest. It's a contest that you wouldn't want to miss. So whatever plans you have for Sunday, cancel those. Sit in front of a television screen. If you're lucky enough to be at the ground, then fantastic. Otherwise, sit in front of a television screen or a giant screen and enjoy this particular encounter. Now,